If you didn't think this book was going to be on this list, are you new here? Hey guys, Katie here. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to be doing a little wrap up of 2020. And this is going to be the 10 worst books that I read so far this year. Now, I will be doing a top 10 books, which is going to be coming after this video. But listen, this is what I'll say. I read 141 books so far this year in 2020. So 10 of them being the worst is pretty generous. You know, I feel like I could have had like decently, like I could have had like 20 on this list, but I don't want this to be forever and a day long. So let's just hop right in. This list is in no particular order, but I am going to start out with The Silent Patient. This book is very hyped. Can't begin to fathom why, to be honest. So many people love this book, and I just can't understand it. The main character, the guy, is a misogynistic, egotistical piece of absolute trash. He's trash. He's just a stalker. Like, it's gross. I don't understand it. This one I struggled with putting on the worst of the year only because the plot twist is pretty good. The plot twist is pretty good. But I hated the guy, the main dude, so much. And honestly, like, even the main girl character, I was like, okay. Like, it's basically like a psychotherapist, his fantasy of like a manic pixie dream girl, but a manic pixie dream girl who's just like depressed. What? Like, anyway, what this is about, if I'm remembering correctly, which I think I am, is it's about a girl. Okay, this woman, her husband's dead, and she is found next to his dead body, which has been shot up a bunch of times. And the police are like, oh my God, what happened? And she doesn't say anything. And she never talks again. Basically, it's like she just zip. So she gets put into a hospital for the insane. And the other main character is her therapist, who's like, I'm gonna fix her. You know? So he's like, everybody step aside. I've got this. I'm gonna be the one that makes her talk. And it's just gross. It's just gross. Like, he just really thinks so much of himself. And I listened to the audio, and his voice and the narration really grated my gears. I hated him. I didn't like it. Let's move on. Anyway, next book, The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. I read this last month, and I can tell you almost nothing about it because that's how boring it was. It was so boring. I don't know why. The only reason I didn't DNF it was because it's the only book from Riley Sager that I had not completed. And listen, okay, Final Girls almost made it on this list because the characters are so annoying. They're so annoying. But The Last Time I Lied is so freaking boring. Like, the only thing I can tell you is a summary because that's it. That's all I remember. It's about a girl who was in camp, and she was in camp with a bunch of other girls, you know, when she was a kid. And one night she wakes up to all the girls leaving the bunk, like leaving the cabin's what I'm looking for. They're leaving the cabin, they go into the woods, and they never come back. And then later in life, she goes back to the woods, the camp, to be a camp counselor. Why? Cannot tell you. Sounds like a really dumb decision, but whatever. So she goes back there, and that's all I remember. That's all I remember. It was bad. It was very boring. It is known to be one of Riley Sager's worst books. There was a couple people that really like it. Sorry, Gabby. I know she loves this book, but I really, really hated it. They both die in the end. Here's the thing. Great concept. So Black Mirror. Concept, immaculate. Writing, horrible. Horrible. I do not understand why people like this book. It is written so poorly. It's just great concept, horrible execution. It's supposed to be about that there's this, what is it called? I can't remember what the hotline is called, but it's basically like this service where they call you and tell you the day you're gonna die, but it's like less than 24 hours notice. So they could call you at like 2 a.m. and say, at some point today, you're gonna die. And they won't tell you what time it is. They won't tell you how you're gonna die. They just say, buckle up, Buttercup, you're about to be dead. So, okay. So you're following two guys, both of which receive this call that day. And there's a last friend app where you can go on there and either spend a day with somebody who just like wants to spend the day with somebody who's gonna die, or somebody else who's gonna die, and you can, it's basically like so you don't have to die alone. So both of them do this, and then they like meet up, and it's like instantly out of freaking nowhere love story. It's very poorly done. very bad. It's very, very bad. Like, I just don't even understand. Like, it doesn't make sense. The story doesn't make sense. Now, I think the only thing that's good about the book is thinking about what you would do in the scenarios. That part is so fascinating. But I did not like say I listened to the audio and the jargon that was used for like one of the boy like main characters was so cringy and disgusting. And like the pop culture references were just like also cringy and stupid. And the insta love literally came out of nowhere. Like they're like strangers and then they're like kind of friendly to each other. And then all of a sudden they're just in love. What? And also, like, excuse me? Like, where are your friends? You don't want to spend time with your friends? You know, where'd your friends go? It was bad. Y'all are all gonna come for me, but A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. You're all coming for me. I see it coming, the stampede. This book is not good. Now, here's the thing. Well written, so well written. Oh my God, Hanya Yanagihara, she really did that. She wrote the longest cry fest of all time. It's torture porn. These things could never conceivably happen to somebody. Like every single trigger warning in the entire universe is in this book and they all happen to one guy. Sis, miss me with that. That is preposterous, inconceivable, stupid. Like there's just no point. And I think that a lot of people have said this much more eloquently than I. Like Noelle Gallagher's video, the ending of it, she summed it up perfectly. Go watch that. But it's basically like, why would you do this to yourself? There's nothing happy that happens in this book. There's nothing good. You end in the same place you began. You don't end any happier. You begin sad. The middle is sad, the ending is sad, nothing's hopeful. Life is a giant pit of despair, and everybody who loves you is just the only good thing, and you're just a giant suck on their life, and the world would be better without you. This book is just, what's the point in reading it other than to cry? Because that's literally it. And I don't understand. It's just the hype. It's the hype of how hard are you going to cry reading it? And people read it like, oh my God, I want to cry. And I'm like, no. The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. Now, real quick, A.J. Finn, piece of shit. He sucks. You can go look up more about him, but basically he has lied many times about having cancer when, you know, of course he didn't have cancer, to like avoid deadlines, to get sympathy, money, all these things. He's just not cool. So he wrote this book, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I was gripped. I read this in 2 days. I was flying through it, read it physically. This was at the beginning of quarantine. Grace and I buddy read this, and I was absolutely living for the first 85% of this book, but the ending made this a 1 star. The ending is so bad, and there's a lot of people in this world that really like it. I wouldn't even say a lot. I'd say there's like 20% of the people that read this book that are obsessed with it, and then the rest of the people are like, what book? No. I'm not gonna spoil it, but the ending doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And also, I do not like when the villain or the bad guy just basically sits down and tells the main character how they did it and what happened. Like when they give this whole villain diatribe, like this whole monologue of like their villainous deeds, and it's just stupid. Now, I am very excited to see the movie. Don't know when it's gonna come out, but I really wanna see that. I think the movie is gonna be good, hopefully, but the book it's not worth your time. The Honey Don't List by Christina Lauren. Really bad. Now, here's the thing. I do not read romances very often, and when I do, I don't tend to love them or even really like them, but this is just a bad book. Like, it's just bad, straight up. So you're supposed to be following like the PA, like the personal assistants of basically like, so there's like Chip and Joanna Gaines, which this book completely plagiarized their life, but you're basically like, there's these 2 characters that are like Chip and Joanna Gaines, and then their personal assistants, each of them, and how they have a love story with each other. But they really don't. The book is not about them. It's about this Chip and Joanna Gaines couple, like this HGTV couple that is disgusting. Like they're horrible to each other. And you keep thinking, you know, maybe we'll get a happy ending. No, you don't. They're just like cheating on each other. They're like alcoholics. They're just like abusive, and it's horrible. And they are the main front runners of the story. Like the personal assistants, the only thing they do the entire book is talk about their bosses all the time, and it's bad. The book is just Bad. End of story. Let's move on. Wilder Girls by Rory Power. This is a controversial book. I think this is, or not controversial, but it's something that you either love it or you hate it. I hated it. Absolutely hated it. This book is disgusting. Like, this book made my skin crawl. It made me want to throw up in my mouth. It is body horror. It is just body horror with no plot. That's the thing. And this is, again, you know, I guess spoiler, but it's an open ending. Is that a spoiler? I don't know. Maybe. I think it's pretty widely talked about on BookTube, but it is an open ending, and it's basically where these, this like girls' school, they go on like a trip. I think they're on like some sort of field trip or something, like to this island, and then they get this like disease that's on this island that causes them to like mutate, and it's so disgusting. And like the mutation like does horrifying things to them, and then they just die suddenly for like no reason. But then they're not allowed back into America. They're not allowed back off this island because they don't want this like virus to spread. And you'd think like, oh my God, we're gonna get somewhere. No, it's just a loop of a gross ass story, and it's supposed to be a sapphic romance. The sapphic story in this book doesn't make any sense. It is insta love. It just is stupid. I didn't like it. Didn't like any of the characters. It was gross. I am just washed my hands of it, but I can't because people keep talking about it. It's bad. This next book makes me so angry that it exists. That poor, unfortunate souls out there are gonna read it, having no idea. 8 Perfect Murders by Peter Swanson. Now, I loved The Kind Worth Killing, okay? Gonna reread it next year. 8 Perfect Murders, I yeeted this out of my window. Like, I literally, the second I was finished with it, was like somebody take it off my hands. I was so mad. This is a book that's about a, like a crime or a mystery thriller blogger. So he makes a blog, and he was doing it for years and years, and he does like ranking mysteries. So one day he does a like top 8 best murders of all time in books, and like how they were like the perfect murders. And then years and years and years later, somebody starts killing people in the same way, like from this list, like in the same fashion of the murders that he talks about from these books. And the police are like, what's up? Do you know something? What's happening? So, okay, here's the problem. He spoils every amazing mystery ever. He spoils like And Then There Were None. He spoils like ABC Murders. He spoils like a bunch of Sue Grafton books. He spoils Gone Girl, The Secret History. I don't even remember. I think he might have, no, he didn't spoil Big Little Lies, did he? He spoiled something else. He spoiled literally anything that matters in the world of mysteries. Why? And even if you'd read every single mystery that was worth a damn, you still wouldn't want to read this book, because even if you were not spoiled on anything, the book isn't good. It's not good. The plot is poor. The ending, horrible. I actually really felt the same way as I did with the ending of Final Girls in this, where I was like, that's the bad guy? Really? That was bad. Don't read it. And please don't let any of your friends read it, okay? It's not worth it. If I could give this one -5 stars, I would have. But it's The Last Black Unicorn by Tiffany D. Haddish. How did somebody let her publish this book? How did an editor, a publisher, an agent, her publicist, her manager, anybody let her come out with this book? I listened to the audio, and I can't tell you how horrified I was to listen to this. It is disgusting. One, the book isn't funny, okay? And it's Tiffany D. Haddish. Like, how's it not funny? I don't understand. But something that she does in this book a lot, it's not just a line, it's not just a chapter, is she talks about this guy that she worked with when she was a TSA. And the guy that she's talking about has a mental disability. And do you know what Tiffany D. Haddish does in this book? Mocks him mercilessly, and I mean mimics him. Vocally, everything. She does his voice, and it's basically like this guy was interested in her and keeps on asking her out. But the joke is, oh, it's so funny that he's so interested in her because he has a mental disability. That is fucking disgusting. How dare she? How dare this book? How dare other people give this any higher than a 1 star? I don't understand how people are okay with that. It was so Technically, I DNF'd it because I tried and tried. I kept listening to chapters of it, and she kept talking about that guy and mocking his voice and mocking everything he did, and it was so gross, so I DNF'd it, and literally there's no way that the book ended with anything that was going to make her seem like less of a piece of trash. Now, I don't know Tiffany D. Jackson. Oh my God, I'm sorry, Tiffany Haddish, not Tiffany D. Jackson. If I said Tiffany D. Jackson earlier, I'm so sorry. Tiffany D. Jackson is a goddess. Tiffany Haddish. There's nothing in the last part of the book that I DNF'd that could have possibly redeemed her. So, whew, we're getting fueled up. Okay, we need to wind down. This last book is gonna come as no surprise. Okay, and is it the worst book I've ever read in my life? No. Is it the worst book I read in 2020? No, but it's the most disappointing thing I've ever read. King of Crows by Libba Bray. Spoiler alert for my next video, but The Diviners is like my favorite book I've ever read. And Before the Devil Breaks You, which is the third book, is also one of my favorite books of all time. And then this is the fourth book. It is the final book. It just came out February of this year, and I want to cry. It was so bad. It's so bad. I gave this 2 stars. I hated it. I hated it. Who wrote this book? Because it wasn't Libba Bray. Doesn't sound like her at all. The characters are watered down. It's not exciting. All the things that you were supposed to be building up to in the series were so poorly revealed, answered, ended, concluded. It was horrible. I hated it. Like, there was nothing about this book I think that I liked. Like, nothing. It was just bad. Now, please read the series because the other 3 books are so phenomenal that they make it worth it. Like, and I would suggest, I mean, you could just listen to the audio of this on like 2.75 the speed and just bust through it just to find out what happens, even though your imagination would do you a lot better. But okay, should I even tell you what this is about? It's a 4th book. It's the ending of like a fantasy. Is it a fantasy? I never know what to call it. It's about a bunch of kids in New York City who are called diviners because they have a special power. Like, one of them can like heal people, one of them can walk in somebody else's dreams, one of them can is like a fire starter. There's like a bunch of different things, okay? And they are all like grouped together to help like solve these crazy things that keep happening in New York City. The first 3 books are like that. This book is supposed to be about this King of Crows guy that's been like an omnipresent villain through the first 3 books. His ending? Unsatisfying is like too good of a word. It was bad. It was bad. Now, I guess at some point in my life, I'm going to reread this and maybe I won't feel so strongly about it, but I do have a whole reading vlog about ranting about it. Literally, I think I ranted for like 27 minutes about this book. So if you want to go watch that, I'll have it linked. And also, if you liked this book, please let me know, because I need to know, am I wrong? Am I just too high up in my emotions, or was this bad? Please let me know. Okay, that is going to wrap up the 10 worst books that I read in 2020. Stay tuned for my top best books that I read in 2020. That's going to be following this video very shortly. I hope that you're having a happy holidays and that you love this video. If you want to follow me on Instagram or Goodreads, they will be linked in the description down below. Let me know what the worst books you've read in 2020 are so that I can be sure to swerve past those books. And have an amazing night. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.